I wonder what they're doing in there.
Haven't got a clue.
It was certainly nice of Mrs. Bloodworth to give Steph back her room.
Except now we have to put up with her shrieks in the middle of the night.
I'd love to get inside her head and find out what she's got going on in there.
No thanks. I prefer to keep my sanity.
Anyway, I hope they're in there doing what they're supposed to be doing, if for no other reason than to put a stop to the complaining about them not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
You know what scares me?
What?
That I actually followed that.
What scares me is what's coming out of that room when they're done.
Well, that was awful. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it awful.
Well, then what would you call it?
Well, it was a bit awkward, a little clumsy, and at times excruciatingly painful. But I wouldn't call it awful. All right, bloody hell, it was awful. I think I broke a nail.
Whatever may come our way, we'll deal with it day to day. We hope you'll be there while we're living in our timeshare.
So, what happened? Don't ask me. You're the one who couldn't, well, you know.
Hey, it wasn't all my fault.
How was it my fault?
Well, let's just say that it appeared that the tunnel was closed for construction.
The tunnel was open and accepting traffic.
Well, then there was a jam in there somewhere.
Look, you're the one who told me that when you're a virgin, the first time is a little difficult.
A little difficult is one thing. This was like trying to bail out the Titanic with a teaspoon.
Well, I can't change the fact that I'm a little inexperienced.
And I can't change the fact that I'm old.
What's that got to do with it?
When a man gets older, his stamina decreases.
Are you going to tell me it's going to get worse than this? Nothing can get worse than this.
Happy Days did after season 5.
What happened in season 5?
Fonzie jumped over a shark on water skis.
I'm so glad I missed that.
The rest of the world wasn't so lucky. That's when they coined the phrase jumping the shark. That's when a show reaches the point of no return.
Like this one?
No, we're not even close to being there.
And what if we can never make love?
We're going to make love. We just need some help.
What kind of help?
Well, we could see a shrink.
Are you comfortable telling Dr. Einstein that you couldn't perform again?
This wasn't the same kind of performance problem. I was willing and able, but the landscape needed some serious excavation.
You make me sound like a landfill.
Relax. I'll put the whole blame on me.
How kind of you.
Or we could get some sex toys.
To do what with?
To maybe clear out some of that blockage.
Are you kidding me? I am not inserting any foreign objects into my body. Present company excluded, of course.
Well, present company's foreign object seems to be persona non grata.
He's perfectly welcome. It's not my fault if he can't make his way into the dining area.
He couldn't make his way in there with a pitchfork and a bulldozer.
Maybe you'd prefer to sleep with my mum.
We're back to that again?
At least she's broken in.
Broken in is one thing. Broken beyond repair is another.
Are you saying my mum's too old to have sex?
Your mom was too old to have sex when Kennedy was president.
Well, this is getting us nowhere.
I know that. I'm not stupid.
No, you're just incapable of navigating rough terrain.
You'd have to be covered in landmines to be considered just rough terrain.
You know, I don't have to lay here to be insulted.
No, you could sit up and be insulted just as easily.
How do we fix this problem?
I don't know. I'll think of something.
Think fast. My biological clock is ticking.
Your biological clock popped its mainspring back in the Bush era.
Where are you going?
To find a good clocksmith.
Find someone who can fix my nail too.
So don't keep me in suspense. How was it?
As Steph so elegantly put it, it was awful.
That bad, huh?
Worse than that, if you can believe that.
So what happened?
I think they call it getting old.
I don't follow.
Look, Steph's virgin. You know that it takes some effort when the girl is a virgin.
I wouldn't know. My first wife was an ex-hooker, and Phyllis, well, she managed to push skirt too short out of her body.
So you've never been with a virgin?
The closest I ever came to being with a virgin was when Betty Fishman said to me, "Hey Roy, you want to see my hoo-ha?" That was a long time ago.
Well, it's not fun. And what made it worse is I don't quite have the stamina that I did when I was 30.
So it died on the operating table.
It didn't even make it into surgery.
So what are you gonna do?
I have no idea. The only thing I could think of was going to therapy.
Dr. Einstein?
It's the only head shrink I'll know who'll work for a bottle of schnapps.
How does he drink that stuff?
These days, with Martina and 2 straws.
They're still seeing each other?
As far as I know,
She's still seeing the doctor who saved her life?
him too.
Your sister's been awfully busy.
And I still can't get past third base.
Hey, a triple's better than striking out.
Except I didn't, well, you know.
Why not?
I just didn't feel right knowing that I was leaving her unsatisfied. Of course, I'm sure that changed once I left the room.
Oh, so that's what I heard.
She really is loud.
She gives Phyllis a run for her money.
Where is Phyllis?
She and Kathy went shopping for some sex toys.
I suggested that to Steph too.
How did she react?
She said no way is any foreign object going inside of her.
Sounds to me like you got a real problem.
Don't I?
Maybe the doc can help.
Well, he certainly can't hurt.
Anything I can do?
I seriously doubt it.
Hey, I got some really cool reading material in my room.
Steph and I don't go to bed to read.
Sounds to me like you don't go to bed to do anything.
Well, the attempt is there, till we crash and burn like the Hindenburg.
Well, if you want my help, I'm available.
Thanks, Roy.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm heading out to the hardware store.
Need more lube for the treadmill?
No, Phyllis broke the bed. That woman is an animal. and I could have had that animal. What am I saying? She'd eat me alive.
If you see my bro, tell him I'm going out.
Where are you going?
I have a hot date.
Oh, look, before you go, you have a minute?
Sure, what's up?
Well, you do know that Steve and I finally got to go to bed together.
Oh yes, how was it?
Awful.
That bad?
Bad would be about 10 steps up from what it was.
What happened?
Quite simply, we just couldn't get it done.
My bro couldn't perform again?
It wasn't quite like that. You see, I'm a virgin.
Say no more. He couldn't break down the wall?
That's right. How did you know?
Steph, he's had this problem his whole life.
What?
It comes from all the abuse.
From his father?
I'm talking about self-abuse.
I don't understand.
When you do that too much, you desensitize the area. Eventually it gets to a point where you hardly feel anything at all.
Why didn't he tell me?
He's embarrassed.
I'll bet.
But there's a simple cure.
Really? What is it?
Forget it. My bro wouldn't do it.
How bad can it be?
He'll have to abstain for at least a month.
That bad?
I think the most he ever lasted was for a day. To last a month, he'd end up in a coma.
I think the abstaining for a month will be the thing that puts him in the coma.
I've talked to him about this many times.
And what did he say?
Steph, my bro is an addict. The withdrawal would make him impossible to live with.
He's not exactly a picnic right now.
I can try talking to him again, but I don't think it'll do any good.
You're probably right. But if I talk to him...
If you do, he'll know I told you.
Do you care?
Oh, the hell with it. Tell him if you want.
I think if he realizes what's at stake, it just might work.
He's going to be a nightmare to be around.
I can handle that.
He just might attack you.
What part of that am I supposed to be upset about?
Unless you're into rough sex, it won't be pleasant.
Right now I'm not getting any sex, so I'll take my chances.
All right, don't say I didn't warn you. I'm out of here. Damn dog!
So he's going to attack me. I'll have to go to the sporting goods store for some body armor. What am I saying? I'll just borrow Phyllis's.
That thing's never going to fit. I'll make it fit.
Hey, you're home.
Yes, George, I'm home.
Did you and your ma go to the sex store?
We did, George.
Did you bring home a surprise?
Oh, don't worry. You'll be surprised, all right.
So when you want to go downstairs?
Right now. Wish me luck. You're going to need more than luck to make that thing work. Come on, George. Let's see if this does the trick.
Is this gonna hurt?
God be willing, yes.
Send up the National Guard if I'm not back in an hour. That girl's starting to scare me more and more every day. Where were you two?
We went to the sex store.
Is everybody going there these days?
What can I tell you? It's a popular place.
I'd think an ex-hooker wouldn't need sex toys.
Oh, they're not for me. They're for Iggy. He wanted to try something new.
Aren't you afraid he might hurt himself?
Don't worry, I'm his designated spotter. You ready?
Are you sure this is safe?
Absolutely.
Just make sure your will is made out.
I took care of that a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everything goes to Rhonda. That way I don't have to keep track of my stuff.
I guess that could be taxing.
Come on, Iggy. Let's go have some fun.
One of these days, she's going to put him in traction. Now what? Where were you?
I went to see Dr. Einstein.
What the hell for?
Didn't Roy tell you?
Tell me what?
Oh, right. He went to the hardware store. I went to bed with Steph.
I couldn't tell. I didn't hear any whimpering.
What you heard was the sound of silence.
What do you mean?
Nothing happened.
How come?
Between my age and Steph's virginity,
Say no more. Spare me the visual.
it was a disaster.
So you're going to see a shrink?
It's the only thing I could think of doing.
So did you make an appointment?
I did, for next week.
Is Mary Poppins okay with it?
I think at this point she'll try anything.
Well, you wouldn't have had this problem with me.
How so?
In case you've forgotten, I'm no virgin.
Really? I would have never guessed. Anyway, where's Steph?
I think she's in her room.
Great. I'll go give her the news.
Break it to her gently.
I'll put on my kid gloves.
You should have used them during sex.
Where's my bro?
He's in the bathroom talking to Mary Poppins.
Oh, this isn't going to be good.
We already know that.
You don't understand. I just got back from my date with Dr. Einstein.
We already knew that too.
While I was there, my bro arrived.
That had to be awkward.
I ducked out of sight.
So then what's the problem?
He made an appointment for next week for him and Steph.
Can you get to the part that we already don't know?
Dr. Einstein doesn't know that my bro is a sex addict, and I know he's not going to tell him.
So what does it matter?
It matters because whatever Dr. Einstein suggests, it's not going to work without addressing the root cause of the problem. Now I could tell him, but if I did, then my bro would know that I was the one who opened up her big mouth.
Sounds to me like you got a big problem in your hands.
It's bad enough that I'm the reason that they're having all these problems.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. If I say nothing, nothing gets fixed. If I say something, then I've betrayed my bro. Either way, I'm screwed. Flip a coin. Excuse me?
Whenever I'm in a no-win situation, I flip a coin. At least that way I make a decision and save myself some time racking my brains out.
Is she serious?
One thing about Phyllis, she has no sense of humor. No offense.
I guess if I do nothing, that's a decision. It just doesn't help my bro much, does it?
Well, I did it.
Did what?
I made an appointment with Dr. Einstein for the two of us.
When?
Next week.
Fine.
You don't look very thrilled.
I just don't like broadcasting my sex life.
Steph, he's a doctor.
Still, some things should remain private.
Would you rather we go on like we are?
No, of course not.
Then I don't see how we have any choice.
Does everybody here have to know?
It's not like we're going to be able to keep it from them.
Well, we don't have to go into explicit detail.
What detail? We went to bed, nothing happened, we got out of bed. It would take longer to cook a 3-minute egg than to tell people the details of our sex life.
I suppose. But please, I don't want my mum to know anything.
Why?
Because she's going to tell me how you wouldn't have this problem with her.
It doesn't matter. I don't want your mom. I want you.
So you say.
You still think I couldn't make love to you because you're not my mother?
No, of course not. It's because I'm not my mother.
That's ridiculous.
Is it? I'm showing you my legs again. I figured that would be enough to get you aroused, but obviously it isn't. Anyway, we'll go see Dr. Einstein and see what he says.
I guess we have a lot to talk about.
Well, it's about time he earned his money.
Oh, don't worry. He's going to earn every penny of it.
I'm not paying him in Deutsche Marks.
Hi, Steve. I'm not Captain America Rogers here with another installment of Timeshare Tidbits. Whoever said sex is supposed to be easy was either seriously misinformed or lived life as a monk with an evil sense of humor. Steph and I finally got a chance to go to bed together. Everything was perfect. I didn't have to worry about Martina anymore, and Steph was over her childhood trauma. All I had to do was find my way through the playground. Unfortunately, the playground was an obstacle course in disguise, and I stumbled my way to the finish line and never got to cross it. Yeah, I know. This is all just a lot of confusing mumbo-jumbo for I couldn't do the dirty. The most frustrating part of all of this is that it's not going to get easier as I get older. And unless I can convince Steph that I need a crowbar to pry her open, it's unlikely that I'll ever get the job done. But we're going to see Dr. Einstein next week, and he's going to wave his magic wand and make everything okay. And if not, at least he'll get a bottle of schnapps out of the deal. I still don't know how he drinks that stuff. Roger's out.